Good morning, YouTube family. It's another beautiful early day on the farm. I'm heading out to milk cows. I'm wearing, I don't know if you can see my coveralls, my sweatshirt, my coat. I'm wearing like 16 layers or something, I don't know. No, I'm kidding, but I am wearing a bunch of layers. It's freezing and it's March. A lot of times in March here it's warm, but not yet. In March, honestly, here we could have snow one day, super warm weather, and tornadoes the next. That is spring in Arkansas. And speaking of tornadoes, my heart and my prayers just goes out to all those dealing with the tornadoes in Alabama and Georgia, the aftermath, all the families that have lost loved ones. I haven't lost a loved one in tornadoes, but I've experienced plenty really close by. I'm talking like there's been damage really close by from tornadoes. And in fact, Rosebud, which is the closest town to us, was pretty much wiped off the map in the 80s. And it was actually in the fall. We have what they call a secondary storm season, tornado season here in Arkansas in the fall. So anyway, it's just when that warm air and cold air collides, it's not a good combo. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to talk about this morning, but I really do feel for all those affected by the tornadoes. But what I wanted to talk to y'all about this morning is time management. I'm not the best manager of time. How about you? So the number one question I get asked all the time on YouTube as well as in life is, how do you get everything done? And I'm just gonna let y'all in on a secret. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes things fall to the wayside. But how do I keep all the things going on this homestead that we have going and things not suffer from that? How do I have enough hours in the day to milk cows and homeschool kids and feed animals and cook supper and all the other 50 million things that come up? Like yesterday evening, for example, after Ben worked all day, he came home. We had to put out hay. We had some little steers and bulls that we had in with our new herd of cows that we noticed they're nursing. Any mom that'll stand still, they're nursing. That's a bad thing because they're way too big to be doing it. There's baby calves that need that milk, and especially if it's a new mom that's standing around letting a little baby nurse, those big bulls are sucking out all the colostrum that the baby needs. So that was a problem. So we had to separate them off and herd them up here. We had a baby that lost its mom. We had to get on a new mom. Just, it goes on and on and on. And on that video, it's funny, several of y'all commented, wow, y'all have so much energy. But what you don't see is sometimes at night, like last night, right about time to eat supper, we had gone in from all our working, and our fridge has been leaking out under the bottom of it. It's our ice maker or something like that. We'll just run water all out in my kitchen floor, and I mopped it up and mopped it up, and finally Ben thought he fixed it, and I had to like get under my bottom drawer of my freezer. This is a fridge freezer, and it would collect ice there, and once it collected enough, the water would run over top of the ice and out into the floor. So if I kept that ice chipped off and thrown away, we didn't have a problem. Well, I had got behind on getting the ice out of there, and we walk in, we're so dead tired, and there's water all in the kitchen floor. And I told Ben, I said, one more thing and I'm probably gonna cry, because I just get to that point, I get so overwhelmed, and like we feel like our head's barely above water, and I'm kind of done. And so that happened. We sat down to eat supper, and we've had a little bit of rainwater coming in our dining room when it blows rain, and it swelled just a little patch of our laminate flooring, and he looked over and saw that, and he said, and there's the floor, I need to work on the floor. He said, I'm kind of in the same boat. One more thing, I might cry with you. And so we just sat there and ate supper and talked, and just realized, you know, every day is not like that. Yesterday was just one of those days where one job just led to another, to another, to another. All things that can't be put off. So after he showered, Ben's in there crawling in the floor, fixing the fridge, which we have a little footage of. I'll probably slip in right here. If you're having this problem, or even if you're not yet, you might want to check out what he found out was our problem so you don't have this problem.
Are you having freezer issues? we are. This freezer here, let's see if I can get up in here. Back up in here where it keeps it cool, the freezer coils, they freeze up, and then they thaw out, freeze up, thaw out. When doing that, that's the way it's supposed to do. But behind this guard here, there's a pan that all that thaws out and supposed to drain down into a drain hole right there, and then go down underneath the refrigerator, and there's a fan that evaporates all that water. Well, for some reason that hole is not draining, and I stuck something down in it, I don't know, a month ago, but after so long it freezes up. As you can see, it's frozen solid right now. It drains down here to this. After this little thing fills up, then it drains over, and you wind up with water in the floor and a wet sock. Alright, let's see if we can get this back cover off. And yes, I kind of cleaned up underneath this thing before I started shooting video, because like I'm sure most everybody out there, we are just like you, and we got dust bunnies. Oh man, from the inside of the freezer, that drain is right here. So to me, get around all the dust, how in the world they expect you to get up in there to that? Woo! Right, Reggie. Hopefully. I can get that back on there.
Are you recording for teaching purposes or for...
I'm teaching what not to do.
Don't do this.
Alright, we've pulled the piece off, and now we're in the bathroom going to flush it out. But as you can see, we've got a buildup right here. This is what comes out of the freezer, comes down, it's like a little P-trap, and then drips out. Yeah, there's a little bit getting by, but you can't. Yeah, you can see up in there a little bit. It's kind of clogged. So what it is, remember them dust bunnies? They get up in there too. Now to go back with the tube, if I can get the screw started. Now let's cross our fingers, hope I can get that back in there.
It was a pretty easy fix when he got to the root of the problem. So anyway, the point of all this is not a pity party of how long yesterday was, because we sat there and ate supper and talked about it, and talked about, you know, not every day is like this. There's some days, like today's Tuesday, that I mapped out what my day's gonna look like last night, and it's pretty doable. I'll be done by shortly after lunch. I'm taking the kids to a homeschool group thing, and then by the time we get back from that, all that's left to do is put out hay and cook supper. That's really doable for us. But how do you have enough time in the day to do everything? Well, here's a couple tips I wanted to share with y'all. They're common sense, and you probably already do them. It's just me that probably doesn't or struggles with this. But number one, here's where I struggle. I don't get up early enough. I'm not by nature a morning person. I love the mornings. I love when I do get up early and I have lots of time to drink coffee and be leisurely before I have to jump in there and hit it and start getting stuff done. But by nature, I want to stay in that bed. The bed's warm and cozy. I'm tired and I just don't want to get up. I never sleep really late, never. But like late for me is 7 or 8 o'clock. If I sleep that long, I'm gonna be behind all day. That's just how it is, because we have so many things to do. And this just doesn't just pertain to homesteading and homeschooling and all the things we do. this is life in general. I mean, you can be overwhelmed and not have enough time with your job or with your family or whatever. So I said getting up early is my number one key. Well, the precursor to getting up early for me personally is going to bed early. Because if I don't go to bed on time and I piddle around at night, because that's when I tend to find one more thing to do, or this to clean up, or read a book, or get stuck on the computer or something like that, that leads to me not going to bed early. And if I don't go to bed on time, I can't get up on time because I'm too dead tired. So that's two really important steps. Secondly, or thirdly, I guess it'd be, if I start my day, even if I get up early, and I start my day on the computer, which I usually try to start my day with a quiet time, reading my Bible and praying. But if I follow that with getting on the computer and browsing on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, because I love watching y'all's videos. I know that's probably crazy that we homestead all day and then I want to watch other people homestead, but that's what's interesting to me. I'd rather do that than watch TV. But if I get carried away with that and sit there and waste a couple of hours right at the beginning of the day, that's another thing that starts the whole day bad. So I have to have self-control and limit that. I really do better if I start the day with the things that need doing, that have to get done, and then I allow myself some time on the computer. So if you see that you leave us a comment and I don't comment right back, it's because I haven't sat down to do that yet. But I will, I promise you, I will get to it. But so those are just some tips I've been thinking about and struggling with, so I thought I'd share with y'all. When I do those things, when I go to bed early so I can get up early and I don't sit and waste time on the computer right off the bat, everything just seems to go better. So that's just a few thoughts I wanted to share with y'all. This video isn't too long, but that was just kind of what was on my heart. Let me know if you've got tips for time management. I am a planner by nature. We've told you that before. I have some OCD tendencies and stuff, but then there's some things that I just don't plan at all, like supper. I'm terrible about not knowing what we're gonna eat until it's the last minute and it's time to eat. I think that's why I like the Instapot so much. But I'm gonna try to work on that too. Like, not necessarily having a month-long meal plan, because I tried that. Emily made me a cute one and then I didn't stick to it. So she just wasted all that time making it. But planning, like in the morning, at least for that day, what are we gonna eat tonight, so I can get it laid out or put in the oven or crock pot or Instapot or whatever on time. But if you've got tips, I'd love to hear them. How do you keep yourself organized and all the things you're trying to juggle in your life going? Because that's where we're at right now. It's like, can we do all this? And let's be honest, the cows have took a lot of our time right now, but we're not even in the busy season. We're fixing to have the garden, hay to do, cows to rotate. It's fixing to get cranking. And so I've got to implement some strategies to not be overwhelmed and almost in tears over all we have to do. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me. That's just real life around here that I wanted to share with y'all. Y'all are so encouraging to me, though. I cannot express that enough. I know I say it all the time, but y'all, I feel like y'all are our friends. You're in our corner rooting for us, and that means a whole lot. So thank you for that. We will see you guys tomorrow. Subscribe if you haven't. Give us a thumbs up, a comment. That lets YouTube know that you're watching and that you like what we're putting out. And thank you for all the times that you do that. We will see you tomorrow, and God bless.